Hi and welcome to another video by Are You Arty Kids. Now today we're going to be using this image, which is a very well used image for this particular exercise for drawing. Is a line drawing of Ivor Stravinsky, easy for me to say, Stravinsky, which was drawn in the 1930s, I think, by Pablo Picasso. And the reason it's quite a well used image is because when Picasso drew this picture, I don't know if he drew it from a photograph or he drew it from an individual, but it is used to draw from observation like this. And this is an exercise called upside down drawing. So I'm going to draw it in front of me like this, rather than, as you would normally expect, to draw it like this. And the reason I'm going to do that is when we develop our drawing ability, one of the biggest problems I come across and one of the anxieties is the whole I can't draw people, I can't draw hands, I can't draw this, I can't draw that. It's that sort of negative mindset. But part of it is rooted in the way the brain works. So if we think about the brain as this thing here, which is split into two hemispheres or two halves, you know, like a walnut or a coffee bean. Now this isn't, a definitive, but, from a lot of research, this is what people say. A lot of left-handed people, like myself, tend to use this side of our brain rather than the left-hand side. The left-hand side is supposed to be logic and the sort of analytical, science, maths, problem solving, and the right is supposed to be, I can't think what else it is, but it's supposed to be the sort of creative side, music, etc., etc. And a lot of people who are left-handed tend to use more prominence with the right hemisphere than the left. Don't ask me why, but they do, apparently. And I think one of the reasons artistic and musical people tend to have this dominance and maybe are slightly stronger at those type of things is to do with the fact that this part of the brain controls sort of the creativity and the way that the brain sees the world. Now, a lot of this is linked into things like drawing and spatial awareness and looking at the world. And I think it was the writer of Sherlock Holmes, Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, who said something about, we all see the world, but we don't necessarily look. So yes, we all see to get from A to B, putting one foot in front of another and not bumping into things, but we're not very good at observing. And great artists are people who spend a lot of time or just have a natural ability to carefully and skillfully observe. And trying to get beyond these anxieties of I can or I can't draw, or, I don't know what this is, we can trick our brain a little bit. So at the moment, we're seeing a person sat in a chair and we've got, a figure and a head and hands and all this. And then there'll be people out there who sit there and say, no, I can't draw hands, can't draw people, etc., etc. If we turn it upside down, hopefully what we'll try and do is trick our brain from the logic left-hand side of, it's a person and all the rest of it, into our more creative, freer side of the brain, and get our brain to relax a little bit and think, well, actually, this is just a series of abstract lines and shapes and spaces. So, we can look at this and think it's not a head anymore, it's not a shoulder, and you've got to concentrate to try and, keep flipping into that right hemisphere of the brain rather than going back to logical, that it's a head and shoulders and I can't draw heads and shoulders and things. And just think about, is this line going up and in and out, and using this, what we call negative space, which is the space around the edge of the thing that we want to draw to maybe your frame or the edge of the paper. And we're going to give that a go. And if we just think about decomplicating things into basic formal elements of line and shape and pattern and space, then that apparently, according to those people who are a lot cleverer than me, apparently that makes our job as artists a lot easier. So we're going to give it a go. And this image has been used quite a lot for this particular exercise. So I'm going to have my image in front of me, because remember, you want that minimum distance between your eyes. Imagine those are my two eyes. You don't want to be looking around for working from observational work. So you just, you can keep your head where you are. You can just look up. So I'm just having it straight in front of my eye line. Ideally for this, you want to work on the same size paper. So I'm working on A4 paper printout of this image against an A4 sheet. So you could, if you were working on a small sheet, maybe draw a frame around him and then draw a frame on there, and then you just get that spatial awareness right. But I'm just going to use the edge of the paper for that. So I'm just going to put that in front of me, and then we're going to take a sip of tea, and then we're going to kick off and give this a go and see how it works and see what it looks like and see if it looks any better. And if I position my paper in the same aspect, I can use reference points of where things like middle are. So I'm going to start at the bottom here. And all I'm doing is I'm thinking about, I'm going to start with the outline of this thing. I'm just using my pencil, holding it a bit further back so it's got a lighter pressure. And then if I do want to rub things out, and because I'm in full flow now, I'm not even thinking about, and because it's difficult to understand what element of the drawing I'm drawing, because, you know, I'm looking at it upside down, all I'm trying to do is think about where these lines are going. And I would say it's a lot less stressful doing this, because all I'm thinking about is it a wibbly line? Where's that wibbly line going? Is it a diagonal line? And how much space putting just some of these basic shapes in. So, and I know this thing's wrong with it already, but you just keep going. And it'll be what it is. But what has happened is that my brain has definitely relaxed into flipping over mode, because I am just in the mode of thinking, what is that lion doing? Where is it going? And so there may be things that are wrong with it, but you know what? Doesn't matter. It's just practice. I could feel my brain flipping back to left on there as I approach this part, going, oh no, it's the hands. So I'm gonna leave it until I've done some more stuff, so that my brain can sort of just chill out a bit more. Do-ba-do-do-do. Just going over some of these lines with a bit more confidence now, he says bravely. I think it's a big T drawing, this one. So you can see I'm readjusting. Oh, that should have been fatter to thinner line. No, so the word sleeve popped in my head then. Flipped over again, which is quite normal. You just gotta try and bring your your consciousness back. Ooh, I saw a handkerchief then pop into my head. I don't know where that line is. What's that line now? That's a line. I think I've got some lines missing maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that space is all wrong, but hey ho. Let's just make it fit. Ah. Line bends around that. Everything's shifting a little bit. A chin popped into my head then. It's quite a complex mess of lines down here. Trying to figure out which one I've drawn and which one I haven't. So I seem to be chickening out on the hands. I'll say it again. Oh yeah, I've got some issues with this, but got this middle section to try and figure out now from here. Well, it'll be what it is. What's that line there? So I've got. So you probably find you can't fit everything in. All these strange lines. What's that? Okay, let's get some of these lines in. So that's that line, and then that kind of goes there. A little shape that comes out. It's just like a mess of interlockingness at the moment. So where does that line go? The line that goes there. And then that, ooh, got something. As you would expect, even though it is a series of lines, never really done this before. Upside down drawing. I'm going to just have a break. I'm going to re-look at this. Right, let's try and sort this out. Got some strange lines coming in here. So yeah, it's all a bit messy in this bit. Let's just try and think about lines. That line goes up and in there, and then there's a line down there. And then there's a line that creases and does that, and then there's a gap, and then that goes down. Curved line, line. And then we've got a line that goes under, which I've got. And then we've got a line that goes down and round. Got a line that goes up and then round. Yep. I've got some issues, I know I have, but hey ho. Yeah, there's this middle section is, I don't know, not right. Right, okay, let's get that line in there. And then I've got that curved line. Line there, this middle bit there. I think I have a line missing there somehow. Making that one. What's this section here? Oh no, I've got a line going that way. Boom, 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 boom. Am I nearly there? Oh, I don't know. This is not right somehow. Right. Okay, so that's 25 minutes. I think I've got most of the lines. Fingers crossed, let's see what it looks like. Oh dear. Oh, that's not too bad, is it? It's not too bad. It's a bit squished on the head, and oh, we've got some issues with the hands. But let's just have a look. That's not bad for an upside down drawing. There we go. So that's just 25 minutes, and I think it'd have probably taken me a lot longer. Now I can see proportionally, obviously, things like the head would need to go up a little bit. I'm not too bad actually in terms of levels. So yeah, the head is a bit thinner, and I've gone a bit low. But yeah, I mean, I can sort of see the leg, I can see the chair, that arm. Yeah, that's not bad. It looks a bit like a rat, but there we go. That's my first attempt at upside down drawing. And for the majority of it, apart from when I got to some tricky bits and my brain was flipping between this whole, you know, most of the time I was in here, which was just lines, and then I got to, ooh, pocket square, or ooh, arm, and it flipped back in there, which is when it got stressy. So you could do this with anything, any picture, and give it a go. Hope you enjoyed that.